Hello, foodies. My name is John, also known as Food Coaching, and I'm back. And today we are bringing you episode 408. Tonight's all about team of the season. Of course, we've watched the FIFA Global Series qualify this weekend, and has the meta era finally died? Let's start by introducing my co-host tonight, starting with the Angel of the North, the head of Food Coaching UK. It's none other than Mr. Aaron Glue.
Hello.
It's so
Pleasure to
good,
be here.
so good to be back with you, hearing you, seeing you. And I was just saying, we finally got you a food review beanie, but now you got a haircut.
Yeah, the my wife was begging me. She woke up the other morning. The first thing she said to me was, "Pretty much, you look a mess. When are you going to get your haircut?" So that was kind of the final push I needed, really.
Yeah, that means you got to do it, right?
Yeah, it is. So I did it in stages: hair first, beard after that. So no. So thanks for all of the gear, but nope, I'm 10 years younger.
Well, we got plenty of time to show the gear when we meet live next weekend. But first, when we got to do this show, and we're doing this talking about next weekend with the man from Edinburgh himself. It's none other than the Food and Review Teddy Bear. Struggling a little bit with his internet, but he said he keeps silent and sits still today. But he will make some dead jokes. It's none other than the man, actually. Before I introduce him, I think he wore blue PJs this night. It's Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hey mate, how are you?
I'm all right, but I think you are very well. Am I not mistaken?
Oh, what a day yesterday was. Absolutely brilliant. Never felt an
Hey.
atmosphere like that in a long time, so it was amazing.
We had a good one as well yesterday, Chris. I wasn't there, but nothing like a last-minute winner.
Definitely. I think the only team to beat Newcastle at home is at Cambridge this year.
Oxford.
Oxford, sorry. Was it Oxford? I knew it
Yeah,
somebody.
that was a pretty low point for us. I'd say we didn't have a striker, but I'm happy we went out. It was good. It was good, but I still look at Rangers and James Tavernier, Newcastle man.
Yes, that's it. But
What,
you'll not
what,
be a big fan of his brother, will you, though? Is he no play for
no,
Middlesbrough?
yeah. But Tavernier is a canny captain, isn't he? He's done well up there.
Uh,
I'm really
oh,
impressed
mate.
by him.
It's probably about the best 200 grand we've ever spent, actually, getting him. He's been absolutely amazing. We've been chatting if he's a legend, the club legend yet or not. I think he's close to it.
Saw some of his stats the other day as well, which are quite interesting for his appearances. His goals and assists for a right back are like sensational. Um,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I
But
can't believe he hasn't got a move to the Premiership. But do you know what? He strikes me as quite a loyal player, and I actually can't see him leaving Rangers now.
I'll tell you, Aaron, 50 million is yours. You guys have got plenty of cash, so stump up.
No, I think we're aiming a bit higher now, but no, he's a good lad. I really always rated him, and I'm glad he's done really well.
Yeah, and for me, I'm no idea what you guys are talking about. But hey, we'll see that. Did you guys know that Feyenoord got in the semi-finals of the Conference League, though? Hey, there's that. So that's good news for everyone now.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty nice, right?
Yeah, I
who are
mean,
you playing, John? Who
Olympique
have you
Marseille.
got?
So that might be difficult. But hey, it's all right. It's all right. It's a
So,
semi-final, which I couldn't imagine being in a semi-final in a European Cup anyways anymore. And I know it's the lesser cup, but still doesn't matter, right? If you're a fan.
no, definitely no. If you win it, absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Where's the
Exactly.
final? Have you booked your flights yet for the final?
No, mate. All my savings went to the flight to Edinburgh next week. Talking about that, before we start talk content, Chris, what about this meetup next week with the Food and Review crew? What can you tell the
Yeah,
people?
so if MD's interested, it's Sunday, May the 1st. Let us know. It is Old Firm Day as well. So we've booked a table for the Old Firm. It kicks off at 12. And then we're going to go and hopefully enjoy the Johnny Walker experience, which is a new tourist attraction that's opened up in this with the old, if anybody knows Edinburgh at all, Princess Street. It's right at the corner there where the old Fraser building used to be, so you can't get much better than that. And then we're going to go for a meal afterwards, so it's going to be a great a great day. If anybody's interested, especially guys in the Discord, get in touch with me and get your name down.
Definitely. Looking forward to that. Saturday is
Yeah,
going to be
good, mate.
Scottish football day with you, me, and Aaron, though. So that's going to be awesome as
Ye-
well.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy the delights of Tynecastle, which is a great stadium, actually. I have to say that because my wife is a season ticket holder there.
Yeah, I saw her
And we're
pointing
going
that gun at you now.
and so we're going to see them play Ross County, so that should be a good game as well.
Yeah, I have no idea who's who, but we'll figure that out when we get there. All right, let's talk team of the season, guys. I have been away and I've completely missed everything last week. But team of the season usually makes me want to go play FIFA much more than before. I really like team of the season. Aaron, is team of the season your favorite promo?
No.
Just say yes.
It's not my favorite promo, but it's kind of what you play. It's kind of what you build for, isn't it? I think it's pretty. I love the juice cards that they come from all leagues. I just think it's a really good period in the game. It's what you've built for. It's kind of fun. You can build some cool teams. I mean, player prices this year, it's not for your top tier meta. They're still pretty high, but for anything less, it's pretty good. And I think some of these kind of cards are going to be available for quite cheap prices. You can chop and change your team around quite a lot, which is pretty fun. That's probably something I'll be looking to do, I think. But I am holding cards for the team of the season Serie A. Last year I did pretty well when I held out. I got a Varane, and I got a few other ones. Oblak, I remember as well, for my La Liga team. So fingers crossed I can pack a few, but my pack luck is not in my favor this year. So I don't think it'll happen, but I should have enough coins saved to have at least one or two in the team.
Chris, what about you? Team of the season, you like it, hate it?
I like it, and also it makes me sad, John, because I know this is getting to the end of the game, and then I start to miss my players. It gets very hectic. A lot of people come back into the game, so the game really kicks off. And and I know people are saying, should I do this card or that card? We will soon be very much floating in team of the season players and high-rated cards, but it does strike me as being the end of the game as well. So a little bit of sadness there as well.
It's funny that, isn't it? Because it's April. Like it's weird that you get team of the season and it feel like it's the end of the game. I actually think last year they did a good job of keeping it going because they had a few promos which were quite good. The footage promo was really good. There were some good cards in that. There was some other promo as well. I just remember the cards being green. I can't remember which one it was. That was pretty cool as well. So that kept it interesting. But it's weird to think, like, because we'll not get a new game until when? October?
Yeah.
It's April. That's like 5 months away. So it's kind of like I refuse to believe it's the end of the game, even though it is team of the season. I hope EA do a good job of keeping people interested, and then keep playing the game because it just feels too early to stop playing.
It's still plenty to do. We still have footies, which isn't called footies probably this year and again. But it will last through the summer. Last year's summer was great, right? With the 85 times stand pack and stuff, loaded teams, go for it, keep recycling, try new teams. But before that, we have like at least 6 weeks of team of the season now, which I really like because you never know what you're going to pick. The community team of the season is my favorite because, well, I really do it. I think that the hype starts to go there, right? Premier League is usually when everyone goes nuts, where I'm like, okay, hold on just a little bit longer. And then Serie A hits. But Serie A usually hits, like last year it hit after Ligue 1, I think, as well, and Bundesliga. So it hit pretty late. But we'll see. I think Serie A is also what I'm just waiting for currently.
I think Serie A will come earlier this year because they added the Player of the Month for Serie A this year. I think actually the overall cards for Serie A feel a lot more juiced this year compared to last year.
That's true.
So I wonder if it will maybe they'll bring it forward a bit earlier this year. Fingers crossed.
We can only hope, though. But we do have some content today. Let's see if we can ask Chris what's going on here. Because there's one thing which is looking ridiculously, but I'll have a look when Chris starts to mention that one. Chris, what's going on tonight?
Shall we keep it in the Fire Nord theme tonight, since we've mentioned them at the start of the pod, and that Am I right in saying that your former player, RVP, one of Tommy's favourites, gets an SBC tonight?
Former
A
player, current
92.
trainer, right?
Oh,
Just
is he
saying.
actually at the club at the moment, is he? Well, there you go.
He trains our
Um,
strikers, so that's that.
well, he's a good one to have. Actually, was a really good player and an Arsenal legend as well. He has an SBC out, which is costing 395,000 on the PlayStation and 444 on the Xbox and 414 on the PC. The only thing I'd say about that is that his card actually on the market is 5,000 less. So if you've not got a lot of fodder and you really want to try them and you have the coins, I would suggest you buy them. But I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the card, but he looks like a very well-rounded striker, especially the fact that he's 6'2", and he's got high attacking and low defensive. But is there anything in there that you guys could pick out for our listeners?
I definitely could. I mean, we know Van Persie is the most physical player, right?
Mm-hmm.
62 aggression. Okay, that's fine. I think the biggest issue with this card is 82 stamina. When we enter team of the season stages, I think it's really difficult to keep a player with 82 stamina in your squad while everyone around them. All those team of the season cards will probably have 99 stamina, right? So you can get away by just pushing a little bit harder, going a little bit more. So it will really stand out in my honest opinion. I think it's a cool card. 4-star, 4-star, everything is fine, right? The shooting stats are good, but my issue really is the stamina on this guy, especially when you consider, do you want to do this SPC? Then I'm really unsure about that currently. One of those cards, just like Marco van Basten, which I'm like, I think you could have made him better. Same with Henry, which the guys talked about this Friday, right? I don't know. I'm not gonna do him. I think happy he's in the game, happy he's there. Card looks fine, but the 82 stamina makes him unworthy for me. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I think a lot of these SBCs that have come out for these moments, I just think are bang average. And maybe I'm out there on my own with that opinion, but I think the players that they've picked aren't top tier. Why can't we just have top tier? Right? I think it would give, even if they were really like there was a lot to do, it'd be grind. It would be for something that was grindable. It would be quite fun to do. Any of these that have come out recently, the past couple of weeks, I've just looked and gone, no, I just don't see the value that they add to my team. And I don't feel like, and I talked about this before, I just don't feel like the icons, they're kind of almost giving them a juice that's worthwhile. Like even in moments as well, I think they're still like, why not give that? I know it's not necessarily realistic, right? But why not give Van Persie a 5-star weak foot? Like what's the? And then all of a sudden maybe it becomes a bit better. Like just overjuice it, right? If you're saying he's an icon of the game, or some of these other players, Lam, they're icons of the game. They should be almost reflected with it. But I think over a little bit wrong time. I don't know. I just can't. I'm finding it really hard to get excited about these this year. Sadly, Van Persie, I think you're right, John. Very similar to Van Basten. I think if you did him within a week, he'd be on your bench or he'd be in another SBC.
Yeah, it's the same with Kluivert. It's story of this FIFA, or FIFA icons, I guess, right?
But then again, if you look at that, then you're then looking at the Iker Casillas card that was out 93 rated goalkeeper. He's the exact same price at 392. I mean,
Don't do him.
if you're going to invest anything,
Just don't.
surely we want to invest in Van Persie, you know.
No, you just want to hold, right? I think. And if you want to do any of these SBCs, I think Petit is probably a better card to have in your team. Easy to use with links. You can put them on the different positions. He's French as well, of course, next to an icon. Actually, pretty cool card. I'd always go for Petit, I think, over anyone else that came out thus far.
I've not used Petit this year. Sorry, John, I've not used Petit this year, but every time I've come up against him, I find him quite difficult to play against. I think he's one of those icons. Weirdly, he performs better than his stats would suggest they do. I find the same with Desai actually. Desai, you look at his stats, he doesn't look great, but he performs way better than what they are. I feels like he does anyway, and I think Petit's probably similar.
Yeah.
I would if Petit is the one, but again, I still look at my midfield now and think, okay, so there's been some really good showdown SBCs. Like the Tonali card now for me is very, very good. Him and McKennie in midfield. If I do Petit, would just be on the bench. I just think I need somebody who's going to really push my team up like a level, and none of these really getting me excited for it.
No,
But that's me.
I got same. I talked about about team of the season though just now, right? And the dates, but the dates are actually confirmed on the website of EA. So I can actually say when is everything's coming in this time. And we are unlucky because Syria is, well, not that lost, but almost that lost. So when we have a look, of course, April 29 we got the community. May the 6th we got Premier League. May the 13th we got Bundesliga. Week after that, on May the 20th, we got La Liga. Ligue 1, May 27th. And June the 3rd, we have Serie A, Aaron. And unfortunately, June the 10th, it's time for Ultimate Team of the Season. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more weeks before you have Serie A things going on. I'm not sure if that's worth waiting for, but if you want to save packs, that option is definitely on the table now.
You know what's funny about that as well is I think probably the price of the people will go in early, right? It's going to be a test of resilience to wait that long. I can't wait that long. I think I'll grind up to maybe it's about 100, 150 packs, try to, and then I'll just open them and see what I get. So I might be able to make a few hybrid teams, which should be pretty cool. And if I keep my Serie A players that I've got, because they're mostly pretty untradeable anyway, I can just kind of stick them in and come back to them later on. So that's cool. That's disappointing, but it's cool. It's all cool.
It's a pity. There's no. I always like when the little leagues got something, right? Like
Yeah, me too.
Eredivisie or Portugal or, sorry, Chris, Scotland. But yeah, I think those are either all in Ultimate or not. I don't know. We had times where we had just a week of where we had Portugal and the Dutch Eredivisie at the same time, right? Where we had came pretty cool cards. I think that's a. I don't like that necessarily.
And I like them personally. Sorry, Chris, you go.
I was going to say, I'm looking at the community vote, and are you guys a bit underwhelmed with the players they've picked? I mean, I'm just looking at it. There's quite a few Prem players in there. There's a few. I'm looking at Serie A more for you guys as well. But the actual players themselves, have you done the team yet? Have you managed to vote for anybody? Or
I've not yet, but I think I get what you're saying. On the other side, these cards will all get boosted so much that we can be underwhelmed by the names, but not necessarily. I think the fun part about this is there might be some cards in there which are really good. People tend to overlook it. I know last year we had a Saudi striker. I think I used him for a bit. I forgot his name quite honestly, but he was really cool. He cost about 15k or 18k or something like that. But he was one of my favorite cards I used last year. So I think that's the cool part about this community team of the season.
And I think what I think if EA keep the trend of what they did last year, they will make them available through player picks for weekend league. Because I think that's what really engaged. Everyone loved that last year, and I think that would be really cool if they did that.
That's going to be the case, right? I don't doubt that, honestly.
I think because that for me would be a reason just to keep playing because you're getting 3 picks. I mean, even if you get your 4th pick for being an elite as well is included, maybe it's not. That's maybe it's a stretch too far, but even then it becomes pretty cool, and you're constantly kind of like having opportunities to change your teams and play up because there's so different weeks in new league. The prices of players will come down. I think some of these, because they're not going to be super meta, they're going to be really interesting and really usable and super cheap. No question about that. So
I'm wondering what happens with the Elite Division pick, though. They can't really make that would be really nice, but I doubt that's going to be the case, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see it personally, but it would be pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't get anything decent anyway. I don't think I've packed anything.
Wow, if there's 15 team of the season cards from the Premier League, there's a pretty big chance you pack something good, if that's actually the case, right?
Yeah,
even for you.
If it's blended with a team of the week, I'll get a team of the week. No, that's just guaranteed.
Same. I checked, by the way. I checked all my red picks this morning. I can't say this year I had one red pick that I actually used in my own team. Like not a single one. I
I
got
don't
pretty good
play.
pack. I got pretty cool players, right? And I can't really complain about stuff. But the red picks, seriously, just rubbish. Don't do anything.
Chris, do you get many red picks that are usable?
No, I mean I've even got I think a 92 rated Raheem Sterling, and I don't get anywhere near my team. So I think that's at this stage of the game. I think that I'm looking forward to Tots actually coming in and the end of Team of the Week. But I would say to people is, if I remember rightly, last year I think Team of the Week cards were worth trying to get your hands on if you've got some spare coins, because there was a lot of SBCs that came out where actually they were part of it and they were really hard to get because of course they're out of packs. You weren't getting them when Tots was there, so maybe worth keeping your eye on them as well if you can get them cheap.
That's a good shout. That
Or
very good
save your
shout.
team with the weak packs.
Yeah.
What else do
No,
we
it's a
got,
good
Chris, though?
Well, we've got our great 81 rated player pick is back as well, and also we have a thing called Attitude, which gives you a gold players pack, which I think is quite weak. That's coming in at 10k, and also a repeatable 86 double upgrade pack. 2 players in there, 86 and above. And I'll just quickly get the thing for you. It is 1 inform, as I say, and an 84 rated squad. You guys tempted to do that? 52k?
Aaron?
I wasn't tempted last week. I'm still not tempted this week. I think I'm saving high rated. I think it was on what we were talking about last week, Chris, around like saving anything
Yep.
in your club. It's probably over 82, 83 rated, which is what I did, and I emptied everything else into the repeatable SBC last week, which actually probably paid off more than I thought. And I was able to do Chiellini for free, which was pretty cool with other fodder I had in my club. So, but I'm just saving anything that's higher at the minute. Player picks is still too much of a lottery. But that said, the one last week I think did pay out really, really nicely. And once I had to commit to it, I haven't often done that. I maybe just give it like 5 goes, and then if I got nothing good, I give up. I must have grinded about 50 of them, and I ended up doing pretty well. So maybe the 81 could be worth it, definitely, but the 86 I won't be doing.
And then the final big SBC we've got is the Icon Moments upgrade, coming in at a whopping 700,000 coins, repeatable twice as well. So I think we probably know what you think it, Aaron. John, what do you think? Worth doing?
I don't know, right? It's go for it if you have 4, I guess. There's still pretty cool card now in packs. I really can't say you should or shouldn't do it, I think. Personally, my club is as dry as the Sahara currently, so for me it doesn't make any sense trying it.
I just think they're overdoing these, right? Do you not think they're overdoing these? Like every week, it just feels like the same. And there's part of me that thinks it's pretty cool because they are making icons really achievable, and a lot of teams I come up against have at least 4 or 5 good icons in there. So I think there's something good about it. But I just think, like, come on, it's like it's eat, sleep, repeat here. Like, can you mix it up a little bit? Like they did with the showdown. I'm not saying do showdowns again, but that was quite cool. It was a week. It was a bit different. It freshened things up. I think it engaged a lot of the community to do them. It made the matches more interesting. I know. I just feel like they've done this now for like 3-4 months, and I'm like, I did one, and I got nothing. So that's heavy. It's a heavy price as well going into team of the season, I think, personally.
Yeah, smartest thing is to stay away. But then again, I just did one to see how it goes and got an 86 rated in the inform. Like, yeah, so probably worth doing, giving it an attempt, right? Chris, we got an objective though.
This is a new one on me. I've not actually seen this one. I think Wimby posted it, wasn't it, on
We got
on
a
the thing? I
new
don't know if you have the detail.
I don't have much details honestly yet, but there's Captain Fantastic. Don't know if you've seen it yet.
I will see if I can pull that up.
I've seen people kind of tweeting out about one that's locking the player cam.
Yes.
I like that. It's cool.
Is it supposed to happen though? It locks your player cam on the actual pro camera, so that's behind the player, right? It's like third person camera behind the shoulder. It's a bit weird though.
I saw a content creator do something like this a few weeks ago. Played all his weekend league games on that, and I thought that was pretty cool. Um, like as something to do, probably couldn't do it full time. I think it would be quite difficult to do, but I like that. It's different. It's just kind of cool. It's like, oh, I could be interested in this, but whether they mean that or not, I'm not sure. Maybe that's where they go in the
Yeah.
future. Imagine that.
I can't imagine it not being a mistake because it doesn't say it anywhere, right? On the
Uh-huh.
other side, it is sort of cool. Maybe I don't know. I really don't know. Not gonna do it. That's me though. But
So
because
you need to have the Foot Heroes kit according to this. So assist 5 goals from crosses, live foot friendly, Captain Fantastic, and score 20 goals in Captain Fantastic, and score 8 separate matches. But you have to wear the Foot Heroes kit. So the question is,
I
how
think
do
in
we
the
get the Foot Heroes
I
kit?
think in the first objective you get the kit. I think.
Right. Okay.
So I think it's like where you unlock the first one, you get the kit, you then
yeah,
wear it and unlock all the rest.
Ah, right.
that's
I
pretty
think
cool
that's
though.
how.
Not too bad.
I don't care too much, but I do find it. I do find it funny. I don't know.
Try to see what the actual reward is that you
Yeah.
get. There's not much coming up here.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I
See
like
what
some
you
of the
get.
objectives. There's another one in there at the moment as well, where you can play 3 games a day. It's the shorter kickoff one, a 3 minute per half. I wasn't too sure if I'd like that, but I did go in to do it just to try and grind some packs, and it was all right actually.
John says you get the
Weirdly,
kit. You get the kit when you do 10 games in squad battles. I'm out.
oh my god, squad battles, man! They need to get rid of that next year, or just have a separate thing for squad battles. Like, it's cool at the start of the game because you can grind packs, but I swear to God, it's like not fun.
I think it's the other mode where you can play 3 games a day is probably more fun to do.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty cool. And actually, I'll tell you something about that. I thought going into that, everyone would be all out,
It's
like
10 goals, by
really
the way, not 10
aggressive.
games. Just saying out loud. It's doable.
But I see the ProCam one piece posted it on our wonderful Discord as well. That is going to make the game super interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different
I'm
way
up
of
for it.
coaching as well, Aaron.
I think it's cool. I do think it's really, really cool.
Yeah. Also, know what else was really cool?
Yep.
What, John?
Joining our Patreon. Oh, check it out. Go to patreon.com/foot in review. And of course, there's plenty of benefits and joining. One of the big benefits we get out of it is you supporting our podcast financially. It's about $1 a week. It starts from $1 a week. Of course, there are higher tiers. There are 3 players that are actually supporting us on our highest tier. Those are the Skybox owners. That's Reese. That's Amar. And of course, that's Daniel. Thank you so much for that. They get a free coaching session every single month from the team at footcoaching.com. And all the masterclasses we do every single Thursday are for free for them. If you're 1 tier below that, all masterclasses are also included. And you get a heck of a lot discount on our coaching. So if that's something you're considering, please have a look. But what else is new? You get your name on the visual show. And visual show, what's that all about? You've heard it this Friday when Daniel announced it. We are no longer broadcasting live on twitch.tv. And we got some comments about it. Well, the people were missing us there if we stopped that. And why are we doing that? Well, basically doing a live stream with a podcast is, well, difficult. There's an extra chat to be looking into. We are a podcast show priority, right? That's our priority. So we're monitoring audio levels. We're watching 2 types of chats. We are streaming live and switching scenes. It's a whole lot of work to do. And afterwards, what we don't tend to be able to attend to is the visual content, producing it and putting it out on YouTube. And that's actually what we want to focus on. So what we're going to do starting today is we are broadcasting this, of course, for our Patreon. So if you're a Patreon, you can still join live. We are recording this with cameras and everything put up, but we are going to put this show out on YouTube. So we got a new Food and Review YouTube page. The show will be made available there, fully visual as well. Hopefully, visual on more platforms soon as too. But no more live chat. I want to thank everyone that supports us by subbing, of course, on the Food Coaching channel. But we're just going to go do it all separately, all Food and Review, all YouTube, and of course on all podcast services. So that part of the housekeeping has to be done. So check out Food and Review on YouTube, of course, and patreon.com/Food in Review. Aaron, FIFA Global Series this weekend. Qualifiers, of course, the last chance you have of qualifying yourself for it. Well, I didn't participate. You didn't participate. But what else did you notice?
Well, I didn't have a chance to see it live because I was gardening, but I'm trying to follow it as closely as I could across social media to kind of gather, the results and kind of what the feedback across the community was. And I think one takeaway, big one, was formations. It seems to become quite a big thing and a big talking point in the game. And is is it a skill gap? Should you be having to learn different varieties of formations, or is it a reflection of some are putting it is the game is broken? I don't believe the game is broken. I think it needs refinement next year, but I think what they're trying to do is the right direction. And I just thought it was quite an interesting kind of conversation, really, and difference of opinions around, learning different formations and should you have to do that to be successful. My position on that is, I think you should. I think I think it shows your capability levels and where you're investing your time. Is that if you can flip between 4 or 5 different formations based on what your opponent is doing, and I think it's an additional layer of skill that is required to really be good at the game. And I think it's going to continue to go that way. What I also think is, and again, I did see this as a comment from, and we're talking pro players talking here, is that formations are really pivotal and they can have a difference on the outcome of the game. And I think you can't just rely on one. And it's not just a case of play one and it's just be skillful in the game with how you control your players. It's actually understanding the bigger impact of what your formation is doing and setting them up correctly. 3-5-2 is obviously really popular from the E-Prem, and there are others as well. And I think the best players are able to adapt and show flexibility across, 4 at the back, 3 at the back, 3 in the middle, 2 in the middle, 2 up front, 1 up front. I think it was really interesting. I think it does require a skill, and I think it's something that just should continue to be in the game. And every formation should be playable, and it shouldn't just be 1 or 2 formations. Yeah, narrow formations and maybe it's a little bit more overpowered this year because of the movement that's triggered by the hypermotion, but they're still beatable. I don't feel like they're super meta. I think you've got to understand the game, and then you can counter it quite. I would say sound arrogant quite easily. It's not easy, but you have to, because you have to really concentrate. But that requires, if you concentrate, you can definitely beat them.
Chris, what do you think about formations in this game? Is it a skill you need? Is it a skill you have? And is it considered a skill?
Well, I'm a very rigid 4-1-2-1-2 player, but I do feel that there is formations out there, and I'd like to probably do more. I always prefer 2 up top, but here you guys talk a lot about 3 at the back, and I think it keeps the game fresh as well. I don't know if you guys feel that. I think if you either get a new player, a new formation, it makes you concentrate more, and I think that's partly down. Part of the problem I have is I don't concentrate, and the game gets a bit samey. So, yeah, I'd like to see maybe try some new formations out there.
Like, again, obviously we've been running the Community Cup, and Nick, who did a great job of demolishing me. He played 5-2-3 or something like that. Certainly 5 at the back. It was really effective, and he played it really, really well. And what he kind of shared with me was that he was changing his formation for each opponent, and he did really well with doing that. And I think that's why I think that is a really good skill to have, because if you can switch, if you recognize, okay, this opponent's got an advantage of me because of how they're set up, not technically. If I switch, I can now find a way to counter it. I didn't adapt in that game, and I think that was part of my downfall. in one area certainly. But I just think I think it is something that's important in the game. And I think for the pro players who are maybe experiencing that now, I hope they now go away and look and go, yeah, I need to invest in actually, can I play across all formations? How do I set them up? Can I adapt quickly in game? Do I know what I'm going to go to? I think it is a good skill level, a differentiator, absolutely. And it requires more effort. And those who put the effort in get the rewards.
Yeah.
I think with formation this year, and I've said this before, is I think most, if not all, formations are very much viable. It's the most balanced FIFA we've ever had. And I know it can be stated under the unpopular opinion. Also, I think everyone that needs to click on a tweet now says unpopular opinion. So here, it's my unpopular opinion. All formations are viable. I definitely agree with you, Aaron, that you need to be able to do more formations. You need to be able to switch it around. And I think something that is interesting to see this year in the pro scene compared to previous years is that pros tend to play on muscle memory more than they play what they are. They actually look at what's going on. We've had that a lot this year with coaching, where we say, "Oh, switch to this formation," and the pro players are like, "Yeah, but I'm not really confident doing that," for example, or "Are you sure? I don't think that's really good," or "Why should I do this?" And I think this year it's been specifically a good year to just go at it, right? Try different things, work on different ways. But I think it's a must to have multiple formations set up or multiple play styles actually. This year, it's really effective to put a through ball. This year, it's really effective to get a good cross in. It's really effective to get a good fake shot in, green time it, finesse shot, green time it from. It's all viable, right? There's not one single way that is highly effective or too effective. And I think, therefore, just go at it. You had a masterclass, Aaron, where you teach people, or you taught people, sorry, you taught people how to build their own formation, set up custom instruction. What does it do? How do you tune it, right? And I think that's a really cool effect of this year that you can just do it. If you have the players to switch to a different style, just go at it, because I think it won't matter at all in the end of the results. And is the meta era ending? I think this year there's so many viable formations that there isn't actually one meta. The biggest thing is the meta is the most effective tactic available. What you see happening is that, especially from the UK scene, right, if there's a formation that has done well or a player that has done well running a certain formation, that formation gets adopted over the weeks afterwards, which then is considered the meta, but I don't think it's necessarily the most effective thing going around.
No.
The only thing is it's really easy to counter, because then you know that, oh, the next 10 matches will probably face 8 times this formation. If I know how that, I look at those matches from a coaching perspective or analysis perspective, and many people actually don't know how to play formation. They play a 3-5-2 now, but they drag out the center backs and it's all open house at the back, and it's really weird to see. It's like, this formation is actually really good defensive, but the way you're playing it is really bad. So I think the only, like, 4-2-3-1 and the 4-1-2 and 2 narrow are the only formations that you can get away with playing it incorrectly or badly, because it's so stable and so closed up. The other formation, you actually have to put in some work to do it correctly. So those formations don't stay up in the meta list, if you want to name it like that, for too long. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting what you talk about there. A couple of things, right? For me, one is someone does something and everyone follows it. It's like a sheep mentality. It's like, oh, we'll just go over there because that's what everyone else is doing. But actually, this year it's not like super overpowered. And I played opponents who roll in 3-5-2 exactly as you said. They weren't using it correctly. They maybe copied the formation from a YouTube video, but they weren't playing it correctly. They were still being aggressive. And if anything, with 3-5-2 defending, you can't be aggressive. I think as soon as just because you've got 3 centre backs doesn't mean you can be aggressive with one, right? Absolutely not. I still think that if anything, it makes it slightly harder to play, or easier if you're attacking and somebody's playing like that. So hence why I do think this year, weirdly, the meta era, I feel like is dying, and I think I would say almost credit to EA, because I think if you go back to the very start of the game, there were some mechanics that were very, very overpowered. I feel like with the tuning that they've done and the tweaks, they are less now overpowered, and you don't see a certain people who try and still do the same thing over and over again. I feel are less effective now, and I feel like if I look at the content creator scene, I still see a lot of videos that are like meta, 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 but it's like all the same meta. I don't know if it carries the same weight anymore that it does. Maybe that's just the feel of the game this year.
It does for the YouTube algorithm, right? So there's that.
Well, yeah, right. But I don't see anything that is particularly normally something would hit quite big. You see everybody playing like that. I just don't see that now in a way, and I do see variety of players. I do see variety of opponents who try and build up slightly differently. Yeah, you'll still get those who are still really skillful and can skill really, really well. But you do see more players with crosses, long shots. And you think, like, that you talk about muscle memory. Like, I can't defend on muscle memory now because people do defend differently or attack differently. So I think actually, to your point, I've got to watch what's happening in the game and adjust rather than just going straight in for the same thing. And what I struggle against the most are players who are really slow. I played a guy in the weekend, and I thought he was brilliantly simple. And because he moved at a pace like attacking me, where he wasn't sprinting. I was like, do I attack you? Do I be aggressive? Do I not? And I just could not find the balance. And it seemed like whatever I did, he was adjusting to what I was doing, and so simply getting past me. And that was something I had to learn from. And I like that. I like that people are kind of finding a way to play the game with more variety. It's fun.
Talking about that though. Upcoming for us though is I've been working. Well, I've been working to them from 9 to 5. But I'm in all seriousness, I've been ill, of course. So this morning I was back and I was like, you know what? I am gonna drop my 352, which I've been playing for 3 months now. Team of the season hits almost. It's time to do something fun. So me being Dutch, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna build a 4-3-3. Show the world how you play a 4-3-3. I went 10-0 in my qualifying, which isn't like the end all be all, but it gave me a good perspective on the formation and the setup. Also, it demolishes the 3-5-2s it faced. It just runs straight through it. And they were like, you know what? This is actually so much fun. Just take formation, build your team around it, make it work. Because in the end, it might not be giving me the results in a simple 4-3-1 would hit me when playing a weekend league. But I can bet you it's not going to make one or two. It's maybe 1 or 2 games different in the end, right? I'm not going to finish on 17, but on 15, whatever. It's all right because I am actually looking forward to putting up my console tomorrow again and tuning it a little bit more and playing it again. And I think one of the things which is really important is versatility. With a game where people play mostly the same, you can be bored about how people play, or you can try to be different. And if you do the different route, it's probably more fun for you. And sure, you get a counter or whatever happens, right? But in the end, who cares? And I've been playing Gran Turismo a lot lately, and also because I need a game to not consider as work to actually before I go to bed, right? So I've been playing Gran Turismo, and there's a meta there as well. If there's certain class, you have the same cars, and I started up a game, I didn't think it was last night, and there were 16 players, 16 cars, and 15 of the same type. I was the only one driving a different car. I came in third. I mean, could I get in second? Maybe if I get that car, but I had so much more fun doing that the other thing, right? I think that's the most important. And in the end, it's the skill first, then the players or the formation. And in this situation, the car second, I think.
From my point of view, I'm just listening to you guys there, and it's really interesting. Is for me, meta is a broken mechanic, and I don't think there is any broken mechanics in the game now, is there?
There's only broken camera position now.
Yeah, but I mean, but there is no that one skill move that nobody can actually see. For me, that I don't know. I was going to ask Aaron this. Did he find that the bounce back or the defenders felt weaker in the in the kind of the qualifiers, or is it just me not being a pro player that's the problem? Because for this weekend league, it felt like I was playing Fall Guys. I half expected Canty to come in dressed like a cactus and Lloris to be dressed like a chicken because the ball was just, you know, what I mean, the ball was just bouncing everywhere. You know, even strong players like Varane were struggling against weaker players, and I just wonder if that was actually in the pro game, or is it just me being that weaker player?
I haven't seen it, to be honest, for a while. Even when I've played, I think it's down to potentially how he defended. I would say, as an observation, I didn't see it a lot happen
Probably.
in the Eredivisie. Really, I think there was a little bit of an issue with it early on in this cycle.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not like it was that. I mean, last year it was awful. It was absolutely horrific last year. This year, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it happens, but almost you could argue with players who you would kind of expect it from. Like for example, the player of the month, Mbappe. Right? I feel like if I suffer with it, it's generally from him, or it's down to the opponent's ability to hit the tackle. Right, so that's their reactions. It's the player reactions that's key to it, rather than it almost just being an AI thing in the game, right? Whether I personally, I don't, I'm not sitting there like raging at that happening to me,
No,
and I
same.
haven't.
I think there's one thing though, and I've noticed this last week. So we played a community cup, and I had like 40 degrees fever, and I had to play, and I was like, yeah, no, but just get it over with. I'll probably lose, but hey, let's get it going. And my opponent was actually on the old generation console, and that was my first old generation game in about 5 months, something like that, 4 months maybe. That was a horrific experience. I don't care about the looks of the game, but the amount of bounces or the player animation that just seemed unstable is insane. That if you, I think the current gen game or the new gen, depending on how you call it, is actually so well tuned now, so that the old one just feels really broken. I kept getting bounces, and I was like, you know what? Let's try the FIFA 21 glitch uh, uh, towards a defender, right? When I go up one on one, let's see if we can glitch through. That actually worked twice, and I won that match only by doing that, which for 100% sure isn't any more than a new gen game. So the physics seems way better there. Um, I deleted it. Never gonna play it again. It's done. But I think that has something to do with it maybe as well, which I sometimes underrate when I do coaching. I think, oh, this is actually an old generation game. Maybe I give this player a little bit of slack because I don't think he's can always do something about this.
Yeah, and I guess I just want to signpost one thing for the listeners, whether you're Discord or not. This masterclass series returns this week, so we have had a hiatus last week, but we chatted in the community around okay, what would add value. We're going to be leading a session on beating the press. That's not media related, but it's beating those players who are aggressive in how they play the game, whether it be constant pressure, team press, second man press. So we'll walk through, some things, some do's and don'ts, some examples. So if this is something you think, yes, but and the reason why these masterclasses, right, aren't just for this version of FIFA. These are for future as well. We're not going through things that are like just one iteration, right? Specific. These will be, I'd say, almost generational, where you could take these into the next 2 or 3. Because I don't feel like FIFA are going to or EA are going to make massive changes now. I think they're going to just hopefully fine tune and add, obviously, as they will do some new things in. But hopefully, the foundation of the game we've got this year on next gen will be how it's built moving forward. So if you think, I would like to think they're reasonably well priced, even at a time where things can be difficult, certainly in the UK. So if you fancy it, or some of the older ones that we've already done, check out our website
Yeah,
and come and join the fun.
footcoaching.com. You can just book your ticket already. It's just seven. It's I'm just I can't say just, but it's $7.99. If you're a Patreon member, you get a 50% discount. If you're a Patreon member in the top 2 tiers, it is totally free. So, but if you're not a Patreon member, that's perfectly fine. $7.99 gets you the VOD of the recorded session. It'll get you an invite for the live session this Thursday evening, 7:30 UK.
That's correct.
And
And
if
I'd just like to say that if you're unsure, I'd like to think that you would take at least one thing away to add to your game to work on, which will help you not just this year and finish on a high, but next year as well.
yeah, and it's if you can't attend live, you get the VOD after we edit it anyways. So don't worry about that. And it's yours to keep. So you get a link to download it, not YouTube related per se. Just you can download it to your own save. So it'll save, you pay for it, you get it, you own it. That's what we do. Thank you so much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Chris, I am so looking forward to having fish and chips with you next week. But before that, we'll be back this Wednesday with some more news. I don't know with who still, but we'll see that this Wednesday. For now, it is time for us to drop it and see you then.
Drop it.
Drop it.